NC Math 1 release items number 12. Here's the question. A company uses the formula T equals 581S plus 150P to determine the total cost purchase S computers and P printers. Which formula can be used to determine the number of printers purchased, comma, given the total cost T and the number of computers purchased? All right, so there's a lot of variables here, but you're gonna, of course, see if you can solve this one yourself. Pause and try before moving on. All right, you ready to go? All right. Now, full disclosure, I'll just tell you right now the answer is C. Let's go over why that is. When you're solving an equation, when you're trying to isolate a variable, so you can see these are all P's, we want to solve for P. I'm going to rewrite this first. So T equals 581S. Boy, I do not like it when you use the letter S in an expression because that's too much like 5. But regardless, here's my equation, and I want to solve it for P. So I want to get P by itself. What I have to do first is I have to get rid of all the terms surrounding the term that doesn't have the P in it. So I need to get rid of this term. Now, by doing that, I'm going to move it over to this side. When you do that, it's going to switch the sign of that term. So you can think about this as subtracting 581S from both sides. And those are different variables. You can't combine those, man. You just got to leave them separate. So when you write it separately, it's just going to be T minus 581S. So step one is to remove that term over to the other side. Now we're down to the P and the number of the coefficient next to it. So now we got to get rid of that coefficient. And 150P means 150 multiplied by P. So we get rid of multiplication by dividing by the number out front. So when you do to one side, you got to do both sides. So you just literally divide everything by 150. Now there are two approaches to solving a linear equation when you're dividing everything by a constant number. One approach is to simply divide every term by that number, and that by doing that, that's going to get rid of the 150s next to the P. And so you could write this as P is equal to just T over 150 minus 581S over 150 is equal to P. Now you got P by itself, and that's fine, but that's kind of awkward to write it as two fractions. So the approach that I tend to go with is this. Still divide by 150 on both sides, but instead of writing it as everything gets divided by 150, just put the whole expression on the other side, the opposite side that you're solving for the variable over the number. Now, if a number reduces, great, but 581 and 150 aren't divisible, so it makes no sense to write that as two fractions. So you'll cross out the 150s, and then you're just going to leave it as T minus 581S over 150. You have it solved for P, so you technically got the answer, T minus 581S over 150. And since these 150s are canceled out over here, you have P solved for. Now, it doesn't matter if the P is on the right side or left side, but you look over here, this is the answer. That is this. So that answers question 12. Hopefully that makes sense.